Assalamu alaikum. This is Protusha Burwal welcoming you to Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin to the top stories. Advisory Council approves drafts of guidelines on National Essential Drugs list and pricing. Election Commission to ensure level playing field for adverting rigged election like before, says Chief Election Commissioner. Order to frame charges against former Army officer Ziaul Hassan on 3 charges on January 14. BNP leaders, activists and mass people furling grave of former Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia to pay tribute. Month-long flower festival to start tomorrow at Chattogram DC Park with more than million flowers of 140 species. United States announces control of Venezuelan oil sale for indefinite period. And Raater Warriors beat Noakhali Express by 4 wickets in first match of the day in BPL. Viewers, those were the headlines and moving on to the details. The Council of Advisors approved drafts of guidelines on National Essential Drugs list and pricing. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus chaired the meeting at his office in the capital's Tejgaon area today. The Council also approved drafts of several major ordinances, including the Personal Data Protection Amendment Ordinance 2026, the Bangladesh Shilpakala Academy Amendment Ordinance 2026, the Bangladesh Forest Industries Development Corporation Ordinance 2026, the Third Nationally Determined Contribution NDC 3.0, and the Supreme Court Secretariat Amendment Ordinance 2026. Later, Chief Advisor's Press Secretary Shafqul Alam briefed the media about the meeting at the Foreign Service Academy here this afternoon. Chief Advisor's Special Assistant for the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare Professor Dr. Muhammad Saidur Rahman also spoke at the briefing, while Chief Advisor's Deputy Press Secretary Muhammad Abul Kalam Ajad Mojumdar was present.
জাতীয় অত্যাবশ্যক ওষুধের তালিকা এবং একটা ওষুধের মূল্য নির্ধারণ সম্পর্কিত একটা গাইডলাইন দুটোই অনুমোদিত হয়েছে। স্বাস্থ্য খাত সম্পর্কে অবহিত আপনারা জানেন যে এই ওষুধগুলোর মধ্যে মূল্য পার্থক্য পর্যায়ক্রমে বাড়ছিল এবং বাংলাদেশের স্বাস্থ্য খাতে মানুষের ব্যয়ের 2/3 আসলে ওষুধ খাতে ব্যয় করেন এবং এই আউট অফ পকেট মানুষের ব্যক্তিগত খাত থেকে ব্যয় করা অর্থ এই ওষুধ খাতে ব্যয় হয়। এটা কমানোর জন্য পৃথিবীতে বিভিন্ন রকমের মডেল কাজ করে। কোনো দেশে ফার্মাসিউটিক্যাল বেনিফিট স্কিম, কোনো দেশে ন্যাশনাল হেলথ সার্ভিস, কোনো দেশে মেডিকেড, মেডিকেয়ার, অনেক রকম। কিন্তু বাংলাদেশে যেহেতু এই ধরনের কোনো ইন্স্যুরেন্স অথবা এই ধরনের বেনিফিট স্কিম নেই, এই অবস্থা বাংলাদেশকে আসলে এই ওষুধের উপরে মূল্য নির্ধারণের একটা রাষ্ট্রীয় ইন্টারভেনশন ছাড়া আসলে এটা মানুষের জন্য অ্যাফোর্ডেবল রাখা কঠিন হচ্ছিল। এটা একটা সাধারণ মানুষের মধ্য থেকে গত 30 বছর যাবৎ পর্যায়ক্রমে এটার পর্যবেক্ষণ আসছে। আপনারা বারবার এটা বিভিন্ন সময়ে আপনারা বিভিন্ন সংবাদপত্র, বিভিন্ন মিডিয়াতেও এটা এসছে যে এই ওষুধের মূল্যের পার্থক্যের কারণে মানুষের উপর যে চাপ এবং এই মানুষের এই মধ্যকার এই কনসার্নটাকে বিবেচনায় নিয়ে অন্তর্বর্তীকালীন সরকার দায়িত্ব গ্রহণের শুরু থেকেই আসলে আপনারা জানলেন গত বছর 24 সালের নভেম্বর থেকে আসলে এই প্রক্রিয়াটি শুরু হয়েছে এবং এটা আজকে এটা একটা চূড়ান্ত রূপ নিয়েছে, যেখানে আসলে একটি অত্যাবশ্যক ওষুধের তালিকা প্রণয়ন করা হচ্ছে, যেখানে 295 বা সেটা আজকে উপদেষ্টা পরিষদের সভায় আরও 1-2টি ড্রাগের অন্তর্ভুক্তির অনুরোধ এসেছে, সেগুলো অন্তর্ভুক্ত হলে 95 বা 96টা ওষুধ এগুলোকে বলা হচ্ছে অত্যাবশ্যক।
ক্যাবিনেটে ব্যক্তিগত উপাত্ত সুরক্ষা সংশোধন অধ্যাদেশ 2026-এর খসড়া নীতিগত চূড়ান্ত অনুমোদন করেছে। আজকে বাংলাদেশ শিল্পকলা একাডেমি সংশোধন সংশোধন অধ্যাদেশ 2026-এর খসড়া নীতিগত ও চূড়ান্ত অনুমোদন করেছে। বাংলাদেশ বনশিল্প উন্নয়ন কর্পোরেশন অধ্যাদেশ 2026-এর খসড়া নীতিগত অনুমোদন হয়েছে। এটা চূড়ান্ত অনুমোদন হয়নি, এটা নীতিগত অনুমোদন হয়েছে। পরিবেশ, বন ও জলবায়ু পরিবর্তন মন্ত্রণালয় কর্তৃক প্রণীত থার্ড ন্যাশনালি ডিটারমাইন্ড কন্ট্রিবিউশন মানে NDC 3 এটা ভূতাপেক্ষ অনুমোদন হয়েছে। সুপ্রিম কোর্ট সচিবালয় সংশোধন অধ্যাদেশের 2026-এর খসড়া নীতিগত ও চূড়ান্ত অনুমোদন হয়েছে। বাংলাদেশ বনশিল্প উন্নয়ন কর্পোরেশন অধ্যাদেশ 2026-এর ফরেস্ট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি ডেভেলপমেন্ট কর্পোরেশন অর্ডিন্যান্স 1959-কে একাধিক আইন ও অধ্যাদেশ হিসাবে ব্যবহার করে একটি সমন্বিত যুগোপযোগী কাঠামো আকারে প্রণয়ন করা হয়েছে। গুরুত্বপূর্ণ বিভিন্ন বনসম্প পণ্যের সংজ্ঞা অন্তর্ভুক্ত করা হয়েছে, যার মাধ্যমে কর্পোরেশনের কাজের পরিধি প্রসারিত হবে। আজকের মিটিংয়ে জানানো হয় যে আমাদের যে বনসম্পদের যে আহরণ যেটা হচ্ছে এটার মানে এই বনশিল্প কর্পোরেশনের আয় বেড়েছে ফর দি ফার্স্ট টাইম, প্রফিট বিফোর ট্যাক্স। এইটার ক্ষেত্রে রাবার শিল্পে প্রথমবারের মতো 6 কোটি টাকা প্রফিট করেছে, এটা খুবই আশানীয় এবং সব মিলিয়ে 53 কোটি টাকার তার গত বছরে তার প্রফিট ছিল অন্যান্য ক্ষেত্রে। এখন বনশিল্প কর্পোরেশনকে যেন আরও তার কাজগুলো কিভাবে মানুষের কাছে আনা যায়, এবং আগে তো মূলত এটা ফার্নিচার বা কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে অন্যান্য বনসম্পদ তারা রাবার বিক্রি করতো। এখন যেটা হচ্ছে যে এটা বনশিল্প এই আইনের কারণে তারা একটা শোরুম করতে পারবে অনেক জায়গায়। ওই শোরুমের মাধ্যমে অনেক মানুষের কাছে তাদের পণ্যগুলো খুব দ্রুত পৌঁছবে, এবং এটাও বিধান রাখা হচ্ছে তারা ইচ্ছা করলে জয়েন্ট ভেঞ্চার করতে পারবেন এই বনশিল্প কর্পোরেশন, বাট অবশ্যই কোনোভাবেই যাতে পরিবেশকে ডিস্ট্রয় না করে, এবং এটার আগে এই বিধানটা ছিল না, এখন এই বিধানটা করা হচ্ছে।
Chief Election Commissioner CACAMM Nasruddin today reiterated that no manipulated election will be conducted in the country, so there is no reason to take this to the street. The CAC made the remarks while replying to journalists' questions during a visit to the Appeal Filing Center at the Election Commission Bhavan in the capital's Agargaon area today. Regarding the hearing of appeals against the rejection of nomination papers, the CAC said the Election Commission, as the appellate authority, would ensure the highest level of justice. If a returning officer rejects or accepts any nomination paper, the aggrieved person has the scope to file an appeal in both the cases, he added. In response to a query, the CAC said in the past there used to be many incidents of violence and bomb blasts on nomination submission days. This time, however, nomination papers were submitted in a very congenial environment and no incidents of violence were reported anywhere, which he described as a positive development. He said there is no scope for remedy through appeals against the decisions of returning officers. Describing the Election Commission as a center point for public interest, he said, people are coming from the far-flung areas to file appeals, which proves their interest in the election. Meanwhile, the filing of appeals against orders of acceptance and rejection of nomination papers issued by returning officers for the upcoming 13th Jatiya সংসদ election began today for the 4th consecutive day at the Election Commission. EC officials said a total of 131 appeals were filed with the Commission on Wednesday, taking the total number of appeals filed over the last 3 days to 295. The International Crimes Tribunal ICT has set January 14 as the date for delivering its order on the formal framing of charges in a case filed against former Army officer Ziaul Hassan on 3 allegations, including more than 100 enforced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. The 3-member judicial panel of Tribunal 1, headed by Justice Ghulam Murtuza Mojumdar, passed the order today after concluding the hearing of the defense. Earlier, the prosecution concluded its hearing on January 4. At the same time, tribunal testimony is scheduled in a crimes against humanity case if the killing of 2 people, including the shooting of Amir Hussain while he was hanging from a cornice in Rampura in the capital during the July mass uprising. Defense lawyers will cross-examine the investigation officer Abdur Rauf in this case. Meanwhile, testimony was recorded in the murder case of Abu Said, a student from Rangpur and the first martyr of the July mass uprising. The hearing began this morning at International Crimes Tribunal 2, headed by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhry. In this case, defense lawyers are cross-examined investigation officer Ruhul Amin for the 3rd consecutive day today. Earlier on December 18, the tribunal took cognizance of the charges against the 7 accused and issued arrest warrants against them. Subsequently, the tribunal directed that notices be published in newspapers ordering the accused to appear by January 8. In the morning, a total of 8 accused who are currently under arrest in these cases were produced before the tribunal. The draft of an economic partnership agreement between Bangladesh and Japan has been finalized. The process for the agreement began at the end of 2024. After 8 rounds of meetings, the deal has now been finalized. Commerce advisor Sheikh Bashir Uddin has said the agreement will be signed next month. Once concluded, around 7,500 Bangladeshi products will enjoy duty-free access to the Japanese market. On the other hand, around 1,000 Japanese products will enjoy duty-free access to the Bangladeshi market. This will be the first comprehensive economic partnership agreement that Bangladesh is going to sign with any country. Analysts said the deal is expected to create a unique opportunity for Bangladesh's economy. Economic analysts believe the agreement presents a unique opportunity to expand trade, boost investment, and generate employment. A large share of Bangladesh's export earnings from Japan comes from the garment sector. In addition, leather and leather goods, agricultural products, and a range of other items are also exported to Japan. The Japanese market demands high-quality products. If exports can meet Japanese standards under the agreement, a significant increase in exports is expected. As part of the campaign for the 13th National Parliamentary Election and the July National Charter Referendum, the voting vehicle Super Caravan has arrived in Chattogram. The election campaign of the Super Caravan began last night at city's CRB Shirishtala. During the campaign, various information about the 13th Parliament election and the referendum and voting rights was presented to the people from the Super Caravan. The campaign lasted for about 2 hours from 8:30 p.m. Assistant Director of the District Information Office Muhammad Burhan Uddin and other concerned officials were present on the occasion. The voting vehicle Super Caravan started its journey with a formal inauguration at the South Plaza of the Jatiyo Sangsad Bhavan on December 2022. Leaders, activists, and mass people still throwing Zia Uddan in Sher-e-Bangla Nagar of the capital to pay their tribute at the grave of former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Zia today. Leaders of the Jatiyotawadi Swechhasebok Dal, Jatiyotawadi Krishok Dal, and Bangladesh Muktijodha Sangsad Central Command Council paid their tribute by placing flowers at the grave of Begum Khaleda Zia in the morning. At that time, they offered prayers for the eternal peace of departed soul of Begum Khaleda Zia. The month-long flower festival will be inaugurated at the DC Park in Sitakundo of Chattogram tomorrow. The Chattogram District Administration organized a press conference at the DC Park on the occasion this afternoon. They said all the preparations for the month-long flower festival have been completed. This flower festival, which has created a stir in Chattogram, will be inaugurated tomorrow. The festival is being organized for the 4th time on the initiative of the district administration. The Chattogram District Administration said the entire DC Park will be filled with thousands of flowers of various colors and fragrance. Chattogram Deputy Commissioner Mahmoud Zahidul Islamia gave details of the festival at the press conference. This year, the flower festival will be more attractive, due to which the organizers expect the number of visitors to increase further. The month-long flower festival will include lake trips, entertainment arrangements for children and teenagers, architectural craft decorated with flowers, various stalls, and cultural programs. Now, international news. The United States said it will control sales of Venezuelan oil indefinitely and decide how the proceeds of those sales are used as President Donald Trump's administration consolidates control over the South American country after abducting its president. The U.S. Department of Energy said on Wednesday that it had begun marketing Venezuelan oil on global markets, and all proceeds from the sales will first settle in U.S.-controlled accounts at globally recognized banks. It further said these funds will be disbursed for the benefit of the American people and the Venezuelan people at the discretion of the U.S. government. These oil sales begin immediately with the anticipated sale of approximately 30 to 50 million barrels. They will continue indefinitely. In the hours afterwards, Trump himself weighed in on how the proceeds might be spent, suggesting that Venezuela had agreed to use its fund to buy products solely from the U.S. The announcement came just days after the Trump administration abducted Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Saturday in what legal experts say was a clear violation of international law. India faced double pressure over energy from U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to back a bill mandating up to 500% tariffs on countries buying Russian oil. The announcement came just ahead of the arrival of U.S. Ambassador-designate Sergio Gore to Delhi this weekend, who said in September that ensuring India ends its imports of Russian oil is a top priority. Meanwhile, in Paris, Polish Foreign Minister Radoslaw Sikorski expressed satisfaction that India has reduced its oil imports from Russia during a joint press appearance with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Foreign Ministers of France and Germany. Donald Trump's close associate, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham, has said that the Russia sanctions bill, which could be voted in Congress as early as next week. This bill would give President Trump tremendous leverage against countries such as China, India, and Brazil to incentivize them to stop buying the cheap Russian oil that provides the financing for Putin's bloodbath against Ukraine.